I want to teach you just a little bit about this trick of reading your sentences and paragraphs to be punctuated out loud. We're going to go over a few of these sentences and then we'll look at the corrected answers. But I want you to hear how the punctuation sounds. Many students overuse punctuation or don't use punctuation at all, and I want you to make friends with punctuation and see it as your ally in creating beautifully written works. So let's look at a few of these sentences together, and I want you to hear it out loud. The men in question, Harold King, Jim Peterson, and Gerald Green, deserve awards. You could hear those natural pauses, right? Let's look at number 4. Judge Carswell, later to be nominated for Supreme Court, had ruled against civil rights. So you can see we need some punctuation there. Let's look at this one. Yes, Jim said, I'll be home by 10. Let's look at this one. Arriving on the 8:10 plane were Liz Brooks, my old roommate, and her husband, and Tim, their son. Though Phil said he would arrive on the 9:19 flight, he came instead on the 10:36 flight. Look at 18. There was an interesting article entitled The New Rage for Folk Singing in last Sunday's New York Times newspaper. So you can hear the punctuation that's necessary. The next trick is to just decide what punctuation should be used. So let's go to the answers for these and take a look and see what the actual suggested answers are. The first example they put in parentheses as a parenthetical statement. The men in question, and now they are indicating who the men in question are, so they put it in parentheses. Several countries participated in the airlift, and notice we have a colon here. Instead of a period, we have two little soldiers because at least two things will follow, and it's going to be a list: Italy, Belgium, France, and Luxembourg. Remember that the colon takes the place of the words such as or anything like that. You can use that piece of punctuation instead of those words. The rest of these corrections you can see listed. Remember that 8:10, the time, will require a colon. And these are the quotation marks for this quote from Jim. Again, we have the colon used there. So you might want to pause this video, go back to the very first sentences prior to the correction, pause the video, take a look at those questions, and see how you might punctuate those sentences. Then forward on to these corrections and see how well you did. Again, I want punctuation to be something that you embrace rather than avoid, because it really is the way to create excellent essays. That concludes this tutorial on punctuation.